I'm here.
Hello, Salty.
Yeah, just got back from school.
Uh,
Did you know that your audio's been muted for like 3 weeks?
Maybe.
the whole fucking time, mic and speaker had been just muted every time you came in.
I was getting worried. I'm like, should I say something?
Yeah,
Does he
I know,
know?
right?
it's fine.
Because
Like,
it's happened to other people before, so happened to me too sometimes.
Mm.
So I was like, should I say something? No.
he'll figure it out on his own.
Yeah, but
Until
I've had
fucking
people. There's some people that quit hanging out with us because they thought no one was talking.
Mm. I
They're
hate
like,
finals.
oh,
I know that feeling.
yeah, SAT's kind of dumb, but it is what it
Oh,
is. I try not to think about it.
oh, I'm not talking about SAT. I already did that.
We're talking about the SATs now.
I was talking about finals in general.
I don't know, I'm just joking with you. It's like we're talking about
Yeah.
SATs, boy.
Oh God, no. Just, War Thunder trying to get better with the Shermans.
Yeah, I could teach you a few tricks.
Yeah. Although T34 television has done me some boons.
Yeah. I was flying the Firefly. I was driving the Firefly, and a Dornier dropped a 1,000 kilogram bomb about 150 meters away,
Mm.
and it exploded. And I went flipping through the air twice. Well, no, I flipped twice. I flipped in the air, maybe once and a half, hit the ground, and then I rolled over on the ground. I landed like basically upside down, and then I rolled over, and I lost the track. I was damaged internally. I lost the driver and the gunner. I don't know who the other one was, and I lived until another tank shot me. But this was in like I was kind of asking to get bombed like that though. I was out in the open field.
Yeah.
I saw him coming too. Uh,
Is is the M36 Jackson any good?
the tank destroyer.
Yeah. The
Oh, hey,
the
did you like
successor to
those?
the M10.
Did you like those Tankopedia maps? Links I sent you.
I had to take another look. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was looking up another tank and I came across um those listed. I was like, oh, that reminds me of Salty. I should that seems like it's interesting because I read it and I sent it to you. And I'm like, that sounds really cool. It's
I'll
about
take a
the
look at it.
yeah,
I'll
one's
give it.
about the M10 and one's about the M18. Um, so you're asking me if the M36 is worth it?
Yeah.
I don't have it. I just skipped it. Uh, from what I've seen, it is. It gets a 90 millimeter.
That's what I've heard as well.
You get to unlock APC-BC, but it's really not much better than the 76 as far as like regular penetration with the APHE is. The APCR is pretty
Ballistics
good
are
though.
better though, as far as I'm aware.
I'll tell you in a second. It probably is.
Here, I can test drive it.
Yeah, ballistics are better. I could tell by looking at the muzzle velocity.
I'll see how better.
You'll notice the difference. It
I
won't.
don't like how it has stock M77. M77.
Oh, the solid shot.
Yeah. Only really
Yeah,
good against Panzer IVs, but it's better than the APHE shell.
yeah. It took
And
the Allies a minute to just to adapt. Britain loves solid shot. Basically, they were playing catch up. A lot of the Allies were when it came to certain designs.
Yeah, the
Because the
M36
Germans were the
Traverse
ones.
2, I love the turret Traverse on this thing.
Yeah. On the what? M36.
M77. Well, yeah, the Jackson. The turret Traverse on this thing compared to the other tanks, like the M10. Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
14.3 degrees per second. Yeah, that's pretty good. The M18 is 16, and the M10 is like 3.
Yeah.
It's hand crank,
I'm
that's
pretty sure
why.
the M10 doesn't use like a electronic traverse.
No, it's hand crank.
Stupid. What were we thinking?
Well, the M10. Well, remember when I said they were playing catch up?
Yeah.
Yeah. throughout throughout the entire war to some degree until like the end when everything was already over and done with, we were playing. Everyone was playing catch up, and
With
they
the
started.
Germans.
Yeah, because like APHE, the Germans had the best APHE shells.
Oh
They
yeah.
had the best
Just by
explosive
using
for that.
the Panther 4, I realized that.
Right. And it's not just because they put HE filler in it, it's also because of the way they put the HE and the way they had the HE in there. So not only did they have the best APHE shell because it was APHE, but it was also because of the explosive. And you know the APC BC is a really good shell because you got the capped and then you got the ballistic cap, which adds extra ballistic properties to the shell. And then those caps smush on impact, adding a bit more. You know what normalization is, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, it
The
adds
Puma
more.
shells, the Puma's shells do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I think the Puma gets just capped. Let me look.
Yeah, theirs is the cap that's meant for normalization.
Yeah, but the capped ballistic cap adds more normalization and it gets better ballistic properties because they put an extra cap over it. You know?
Yeah, they didn't think about that with the Puma though.
Yeah. I think the Puma came out a lot sooner, if I recall.
Well, it makes sense why it can be 50 cal.
Yeah, it's not meant to be facing heavy arms. 50 cal is almost a cannon, so
For the time.
it's not just a machine gun. 50 caliber is like one step away from a 20 millimeter.
Hence why we loved it so much.
Oh yeah. Like if you get some armor piercing rounds on a plane, you can break through a lot of the armor.
Yeah.
But that counts for about any round except for the smallest ones.
7.62.
Yeah, 7.62 is like rifle caliber, like just a regular rifle.
Who thought it was a good idea to put Maxim guns on a plane?
Which most armored cars are meant to be armored against rifle caliber in the first place because that's kind of the point. Most people were like, that's kind of standard, you know? And then the 50 cal
Yeah.
comes in and on the cannons and it just kind of changes things.
Indeed, it kind of did. Kind of like, oh, they got bigger guns now.
Oh yeah, things change whenever you start applying all that.
Now, not even MBTs are safe from cannons.
Yep, if they get in the right spots and all that cool stuff.
Although I did find out World War II 50 cals on like a Bobcat can disable the engine of a MBT.
Yeah, apparently Pumas were even used back in 1940 and like in Poland and France. Like even before that, you know. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I zoned out partially.
I wouldn't say anything,
You said that you loved me.
but I do.
Oops.
I imagine US 4.7 is pretty good. 4.7 slash 5.0.
Yeah.
Even the even the SVAAs are valuable at that tier. Oh, the M36 got bumped up to 5.3. What? And the Walker Bulldog got bumped up to 6. Why did it get bumped up to 6?
Because it kicks ass. I think it gets APDS, don't it?
Yeah,
I thought it always
can
was
get APN.
6.0. I don't remember it being lower.
I thought I do remember it being longer.
You might be thinking of the Chaffee.
Yeah,
Because that looked
no,
right for the Walker. It's been that way for a while, actually.
that was lower.
But hey, a 76mm with APDS, that's interesting.
Yeah,
There's this shell that you can get for the mouse, where it's like freaking, it's an 88mm round enclosed into a casing for the 128mm on the mouse. And it's the most effective shell you can put on the mouse as far as like basic shells go. But I don't remember if the mouse gets APCR or not.
I'm looking at the E100 that's available. Doesn't look like it.
The E100 is not normally available.
It's available. At least you can test drive it.
Well, yeah, but it's an event tournament vehicle. You know,
Yeah, but you
I
can
I,
buy it on the.
I should have got that thing. I was cheated out of a tournament. I won.
You can buy a ticket for on the marketplace.
Well, there's been a few tournaments with it in there, so
Mm.
no, there's nobody selling it.
Why
Not the
would they sell?
E100. You can request to buy one, but nobody's selling it.
Well, they all want it. Everybody who gets it wants it.
I earned it. I entered a tournament for the E100 in a special version of the HE163 and like a shit ton of gold. I won every battle. I was the only one in a Tiger, and I kicked all their asses. I just sat out in the open and just took them on. It's a 1v1. You got 2 respawns. Or, yeah. 1 or 2. Anyways, they stopped showing up to fight me. So,
Why?
don't know. Like, it would put you in like a custom battle kind of lobby thing for each match. And then they would have to accept and show up too. But they didn't do that. Like, after I won so many times, they just stopped showing up.
So you just won by default.
I won, but I didn't get credit for winning. So I never got the prize. And that was years ago. I haven't been able to make support tickets because hell just broke loose and all kinds of shit happened. I went homeless and yada yada yada. Because I've been in Florida right after. I went to Florida right after. And I tried to bring it up to them sometime like months ago. And they said they need proof. And I'm like, well, all of my video files and stuff are on my desktop. That's not even here. So yeah, with America.
You guys hear about that Chinese AP FSDS run that got leaked?
I don't know.
You remember? Alright, just put in context. You remember when somebody leaked the Challenger 2 files?
I guess so.
Like when they leaked the classified military documents?
I think so.
Somebody did it again. Except this time it was some Chinese dude who was mad about his nation's APFSDS round being underpowered like it actually was. So he leaked the classified information about it just to get it fixed, and they didn't even implement it.
That's because they need actual sources.
No, he provided classified military documents.
Yeah. Well, that's between him and Gaijin and whether or not he proves it, because they really got to make sure it's legit. They don't just take someone on the internet being like, here's some file, here's a file that's
He was
extra
also kind
Y.
of posing with a. He was also kind of posing with the dart.
Like I said,
It was also an official Chinese military document. It was all intents and purposes real.
they always make adjustments whenever they're able to prove it.
Well, they do it when they have multiple sources. Ensure that it's not, false.
Yeah, that's between him and them, and it takes time to verify these things. Why do you think it took so long to add so many certain things? Like the broom bar, um, they changed the broom bar's heat shell to be the penetration. It got increased because there was documentation submitted, and they verified it after some time, and they even linked you to the verification paperwork when they made the change. I don't know what happened, but I've learned not to take things at face value. Not always.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened.
Well, yeah. Well, the dude who did it obviously got vanished.
You probably didn't care that he got banished.
Probably. By the way, that man got vanished.
Well, yeah, they monitor everything there to the point to where they control it all. So I wouldn't be surprised.
It's the Great Firewall of China.
Hiya.
Although it's totally not like hackers actually penetrated that already.
Yeah, they use VPNs and stuff to try to get through it.
Well, I mean, like people have actually hacked and gotten into police files in China now.
You know, it's funny about the Chinese on YouTube. The Chinese people, like from the communist side, they have to use Taiwan VPNs to get through to YouTube, and they make comments defending China to people and stuff like that, while and making fun of Taiwan while they're using Taiwan and having to use a
Taiwan needs
VPN.
internet to access it.
Hmm?
Like, nice VPN.
Yeah,
Or the ultimate counter to somebody who's just Chinese. Nice VPN.
yeah, I saw comments like that on YouTube. This one Chinese person was saying, "Oh, they don't monitor stuff and all this other stuff. They don't control the internet. We can use it freely." And this guy's like, "Yeah, you say that while you're having to use a VPN through Taiwan." Communist
All
China,
of them.
they hate Taiwan. Like, it's like hatred through generations, through propaganda.
They hate them, but they can't do anything about them.
Well,
Well, they can't
supposedly,
because if they try, they're gonna cause they're gonna provoke the U.S. into war.
yeah. Supposedly, China was supposedly slowly surrounding Taiwan. I don't know if it's true or not because I don't take shit at face value, especially from like some random YouTuber.
They can't really surround Taiwan.
No, they can't completely.
Mainly due to the fact that Taiwan is part of the first island chain.
They can't completely. Taiwan is
all
actually
Chinese
very.
ships that go past it are monitored.
Taiwan
by
is
the
actually
US.
very important to the global supply chain.
But yeah, they have all the prefabs for the microchips.
Well, not necessarily that. I was mainly referring to how they're like a middleman on a lot of things, because like it gets hard for ships to. Hold on, I got a phone call.
Yep, take your time.
Thank you for calling. I do find that fascinating though about the Chinese guy and some of that stuff. So I do find that interesting. I am curious to learn more, but I know better than just to make assumptions. Is what I was trying to say.
Oh yeah,
I've been. I used to think all kinds of weird stuff about different things sometimes, like some. I'll bring it back, but yeah, it was because I went off of someone's opinion, like YouTubers.
yeah. It's hard to refuse that this didn't happen though, considering that news organizations have hopped up on top of this.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, like for example, like let's say I make a review like that one kid did recently, and I'm like, Gaijin's terrible. They just never listen to their community. Meanwhile, their forums are covered with them begging for feedback for different things, and they're constantly doing updates, changes, and different things like that. you know. Anyways, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mainly watch the impartial people or people who actually know what they're talking about. Like Spookstone, I believe their name was, if I'm not butchering it. They do some good stuff.
If it's the guy I think it is, I don't listen to him. I caught him a few times spreading some stuff, but I do listen to
Yeah,
them here and there if I care, which I usually don't. But even whenever they sound like they got a point, like for example, a long time ago, there was this YouTuber that pretended to have evidence about this old guy who just liked to stream and play games and had fun with his little mini community. And this guy convinced his audience that that guy was a pedophile, well, and it just showed images of him randomly scrolling through random web pages. And that guy got harassed, and this old man like started crying and shit from all the harassment and broke down. I don't know what happened to him, but like
yeah. It's
stuff like
not
that happens
that's
a
not
lot.
who
And
I'm talking
the
about.
guy sounded legit. He sounded like he was legitimate. So you can obscure anything that you want to try and do. Like I see a lot of those YouTubers being like, "This is extreme because X and Y," and it's like you don't mention that you're ignoring other shit. I'll be right back.
Yep.
But yeah, I get what you mean, Salty. I'm not just trying to like put you down or nothing. I'm just saying you gotta kind
Yeah.
of be careful because I used to fall for that stuff.
Yeah. I make sure to watch carefully. Only take people who can provide evidence to support their arguments.
Now, Tim's Variety Hour, I like him to some degree. There's like him and this old one called Longbow, and they like try to teach you the game a little bit. Even they sometimes get things a little mixed up, but it's not to the point to where it's like they're just defaming and like just ruining the reputation or nothing. Because like I I I recall the name Spookston, but I don't remember. I don't think I watch him. I think I stopped.
Yeah, he does a he's critical of Gaijin, but he doesn't like spread misinformation. He usually does research behind the stuff. He's most notable for talking about what shouldn't be added or potential balances.
Well, you also got to remember that sometimes you got to look past what he's just saying because sometimes they sound objective, but they actually have other stuff in mind.
Yeah. He's pretty clear on what he says though.
Because there's been a few times. Thank you very much.
He's also
I
a
think
lot
it
well
might have
known.
been. I think he might have been one of the ones because there was this video. A friend of mine, Curie, sometimes he sends me videos of things of people saying different stuff about War Thunder or showing things, and then I immediately pick up on something that's not quite right, and I point it out, and then I show him an example, and he's like, "Oh, okay." I think Spookston was one of them. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look because
Rob,
like there's been a few. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because there's been a few times where like I hear things like them supposedly in balance, but then they forget about some other details. So I'd like to look it back up sometime.
yeah,
But yeah, what did he say that stood out to you that you were trying to bring up? I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
he
I'm
talks.
just trying
Yeah,
to help.
he talks about general balance stuff, mainly for top tier. He's also well known for talking about potential new vehicles that should be added or vehicles that shouldn't be added.
Right. I think currently the state of like top BRs and stuff, that's obviously a work in progress. Because
Yeah, that's
once you
the most
start trying, yeah, because once you start trying to add in modern stuff, you got to really go in there. Because like you can't.
and
That's part of
moderated.
why it's yeah. That's part of why some of it's kind of awkward. Is because if you're going to be adding in more modern stuff, you're going to have to go down a list of things to try to implement better. I guess you could say balancing, but
Yeah,
balancing is a little bit subjective. No, not subjective. I can't think of the term. Relative. Anyways, when it comes to balancing in War Thunder, it's not so easy, but at the same time, it sorts itself out to some degree. Like I can take the 3.7 M10 and I can fight a Tiger 1 and still kick his ass.
true.
It's got that same gun. It's 3.3. Why is that? There's several reasons for that. But somebody can be like,
Researchers.
somebody can just be like, this has a gun that can shoot through everything. We need to get this up yard. Why is Gaijin not listening? You know?
Oh yeah,
And
he's not like that.
yeah, and then you got Fly Daily, who's like worshipped, and he took a Whirlwind and says this needs to be 10.0 because I can kill MBTs, and it has footage of him just hiding around corners that's clipped together, shooting behind their tracks, and it's like, oh wow, of course you're using knowledge.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah, that's a bit more like yeah. The most prominent thing I'd say Spookston did was he did some research into behavior of tiger players when fighting jumbos, just to see how they react and how they played.
So just to confirm, you did not authorize this transaction at all. You have no previous history with transactions like this. Uh-huh. Right, but you gotta. I'm usually. I don't mean to sound like a negative little shit. It's just when it comes to I like if I came up and said, "Oh, I researched how people reacted to this." Now, if I pretend like that's how it always is, there's definitely something wrong. But if I specifically go over the fact that I'm like, "Yeah, this is only just for these few people and this doesn't represent like the general effect, but I just thought it'd be fun." Okay, fine. But if he's going to be like, I'm not saying he did otherwise, I'm just trying to help shine some light on how I'm immediately skeptical when someone says, "Oh, I got a pool or I did a poll or whatever."
Yeah, he mainly does cover it. He doesn't. It's rare that he ever like goes after Gaijin. He
Like,
mainly just talks about like vehicles that are coming, vehicles both real in reality in the in game,
so
applicability of
when
them,
he did
and
those
potential
tests of the
balances.
Oh, sorry. When he did the test of the Tiger player, did he make a broad statement like, "Oh, this is what the average is," or "Oh, this is what Tiger drivers do," or whatever?
The typical statement was that they're so used to pointing and clicking that they don't understand that the Sherman 76s and jumbos can punch right through their armor.
They're not used to
Because
what equipment? Heavy equipment?
like in Tigers, they're so used to pointing and clicking that they can't. So that the majority of the time they can't penetrate the front armor of say a jumbo.
There
Because he
there
did the
is
tests in a jumbo, and he
there is
found
some
that
truth to that.
the results was he found that a lot of Tiger players were just pointing and clicking at center mass. A few did aim for the some did actually aim for the MG port. Some of them were smart, which he did point out, but most of the
I don't think it's fair to assume
most of
just
them.
all of them are point and click, but yeah, there is truth to the point and click thing. But when it comes to a lot of tanks, I think it's more of that's the front, it looks flatter, so I go for that. But I
Yeah,
do see why there's truth to that though, because there are some cases where it's point and click or used to being point and click. I wouldn't say necessarily like entirely point and click because Panzer fours still phase like KV2s and stuff.
yeah.
But
Although KV1 players typically think their armor's thick enough so that Panzer IVs can punch right through the driver viewport.
yeah, but they still have to aim for that though. See, that's the thing. You can't just point and
Yeah,
click if that's assuming that's the KV same one we're talking about.
I believe we're talking pre KV85.
And
Let me see. When did they remove it?
I'll be back in a second.
Yep.
Hey, Salty.
Yeah.
World War II Online, they did like a free premium thing till the 15th. I can fly and stuff now.
Oh,
And they got the
nice.
free to play planes out, so we could fly together. I've been waiting for you to come back for that too. And Laura's been wanting to play, but I've been busy. And he taught me how to solo bomb. And then
Nice.
I flew across the channel with some dudes, like this huge escort. We were in Ju-88s, and then there's like a crap ton of German planes escorting us. Laura wasn't there for it though, and we bombed them, bombed from factories, because you can bomb factories to affect the supply rate and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the
Strategic
developers,
bombing.
one of the developers does like a raid daily doing that, and another one does like an armored columns and like the Allied or whatever. All right, I'll be back.
My last day of high school is tomorrow. After that, I need to get a job.
Okay, thank you. I see.
I'm curious. Why are the anti-tank rounds on the P63 not APHE?
You're gonna have to hold that thought for me for a second, man. I'm not done yet. I'm almost done here.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Thank you for calling P.
Oh, come on. No way am I about to juke 2 planes. P-51's gonna beat me. Oh, no, that's a death spin.